Hello and welcome to the News at 10 on NTA News 24. We are live in Abuja. I am Dennis Adigunloye. Thanks for joining us. Let's begin with the headlines. 7 new ministerial nominees' fate in Senate hands as Red Chamber sets to commence screening exercise. President Tinubu expresses commitments towards full implementation of Naira for crude policy.
When NNPC refineries work going forward, then Nigeria will be actually one of the biggest exporter of petroleum products in history.
And Sultan of Sokoto alive and healthy as Sultanate Council debunks media speculations. We begin at the State House, where President Bola Tinubu has expressed further commitments towards ensuring full implementation of the Naira for crude policy. This was at a meeting to review the policy's implementation at the State House. President Tinubu said the various players in the oil sector, including the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited and the Dangote refinery, should work to improve the economy and the livelihood of Nigerians. The president urged stakeholders to look inward and consider supplying enough petrol and petroleum products for local consumption to stop the persistent reliance on importation, adding that this would enable the channeling of foreign exchange into the development of the real sector. He advised stakeholders to use Afrexim Bank as a settlement bank to resolve the Naira pricing for crude and refined products. State House correspondent Musbah Damahab reports that the meeting, attended by members of the main and subcommittees on the implementation, agreed that the policy should be sustained, while all the initial challenges must be addressed to ensure that the policy achieves its desired results. After the meeting, Chairman of the Implementation Committee, Minister of Finance, Wale Edun, and Chairman Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, revealed that the policy is set to ensure stability in the oil and gas sector with its multiple benefits. I'm making noise now.
We have in the financial advisor and the financial intermediary a stabilizing factor that will help us to achieve the objective of ramping up stick production of refined products and the sale of those products into the Nigerian economy.
This thing will actually revive also a lot of industries, because industries that are in plastic, industries that are, in cooking gas, which is LPG, industries like aviation. So also industries that will buy, gas oil, not only PMS. When NNPC refineries work going forward, then Nigeria will be actually one of the biggest exporter of petroleum products in history. So today, as we speak, the meeting went extremely very well.
In the meantime, President Bola Tinubu has commended members of the armed forces for the progressive success being recorded in the fight against insecurity in parts of the country. This was as he launched the 2025 Armed Forces Remembrance Day Celebration Emblem Appeal at the State House. State House correspondent Musbah Damahab reports.
Another cycle is almost complete for the annual remembrance and celebration of the fallen and living Nigerian veterans. Their service in sustaining the existence and unity of Nigeria continues, and certainly much appreciated. So, their welfare, even after service, and that of the families of the departed remain a major concern of Nigerians. The 2025 Emblem Appeal would start with the endorsement and decoration of the Grand Patron of the Nigerian Legion. This is honoring the past heroes, but the Commander-in-Chief also takes time to recognize the effort of the 7 members currently fighting for the stability of the country.
No matter what economic theory we propagate or postulate, if we have no security, you cannot promote peace and development. I'm grateful to all of you on behalf of the country. Yes, the challenges are still there, but you are the first line of defense for this country. Thank you for your patriotic commitment to Nigerian unity, stability, and progress. We are committed to their values, their principle, their belief, and the unity and stability of this country as we pass on to the next generation a banner without stain
in the sum of 500 million naira.
And beginning with the Federal Executive Council, National Assembly members and service chiefs, the Nigerian Legion is gaining support in donations to cater for its members in the next fiscal year.
I respectively urge all citizens to obtain and wear the emblem with pride. I also employ every MDA to encourage their staff and visitors to procure and wear the emblems throughout the remembrance period. Be assured that every contribution, no matter the size, will significantly impact the lives of those who have dedicated themselves to safeguarding our freedom.
Today is the first in history of donation by presidents to have this enormous, generous donation for the well-being of the families of the departed heroes. This is an encouragement for those who are in the service to know that even after they left, their families will not be left to be on the street or to be beggars.
The second in command, Vice President Kashim Shettima, National Assembly leaders, the Defense Minister, the service chiefs and heads of security agencies would also be the ambassadors while the appeal and celebration last for the year. From the State House, Musbah and Rahab, NTA News.
And staying at the State House, Vice President Kashim Shettima has called for a stronger collaboration between government and the media in carrying out their shared responsibility for Nigeria's national development. He made the call when the leadership of the Nigerian Guild of Editors paid him a courtesy visit at the presidential villa, pledging government support to ensuring the sustainability of the fourth estate of the realm, making a strong case for a balanced partnership to drive national unity and economic growth. The Vice President noted that the time has come to prioritize governance over political considerations, acknowledging the economic challenges confronting the media, and also pledging the government's support to sustaining quality journalism. President of the Nigerian Guild of Editors, Eze Anaba, lauded the Vice President's commitment to transparent governance, particularly in explaining government's economic policies as chairman of the National Economic Council.
The presidency, I'm sure when we talk about the president and the vice presidents, have a role to play, and that's why we came here. Of course, the president issues will also come up at our conference, but one thing we want to assure Nigeria and the president is that the media are committed to the democracy. Of course, as you all know, we are not a political party. Government take decisions almost on a daily basis, but it is the responsibility of the media to hold government to account. One thing we must tell is that Nigerian media, we are committed to democracy, we are committed to good governance, and that they can take that to.
The delegation emphasized the media's readiness to partner with the government while maintaining its independence, announcing that the 20th edition of the All Nigeria Editors Conference, scheduled for November 7th to 9th in Yenagoa, Bayelsa State. Let's go to the National Assembly now, where a member of the House of Representatives, Alex Iwichig, who is involved in a case of alleged assault on a cab operator, has been referred to the House Committee on Ethics and Privileges for investigation. This followed a point of order raised by the Majority Leader, Julius Ihonvere, stating that the rules of the House shall be applied for the member to face the House Disciplinary Committee. We'll get that report to you subsequently. This is the news at 10 on NTA News 24. More reports after this break. Stay with us.
My administration took over leadership of our country 16 months ago at a critical juncture. The economy faced many headwinds and our physical security highly impaired. We found ourselves at a distant crossroad where we must choose between two paths: reform for progress and prosperity, or carry on the business as usual and collapse. We decided to reform our political economy and defense architecture.
Welcome back. Farmers are reaping the benefits of the Sugar Master Plan, with over 535 farmers earning around 1 billion annually. This initiative aims to promote local sugar production and reduce import dependence. Vivian Izadife has more on this and others on Business Package.
The National Sugar Development Council, NSDC, revealed that its outgrower scheme pays 535 farmers over 1 billion naira annually. The NSDC report outlines achievements under the Nigerian Sugar Master Plan, launched after the federal government's 2008 directive for self-sufficiency. The council has grown sugar refineries installed capacity to 3 million metric tons. NSDC's Executive Secretary, Kama Bekri, stressed sugar's importance in economic development and industrialization. The council aims for self-sufficiency within 8 years, leveraging local production to meet domestic demand and explore export markets within Africa. Meanwhile, the Senate Committee on Banking, Insurance and Other Financial Institutions has urged the Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation, NDIC, to maximize the value of failed Heritage Bank's assets to settle stakeholders. Senator Adetokunbo Abiru made the call at the stakeholders' retreat, emphasizing effective legislative interventions for resilient financial systems. The Central Bank of Nigeria appointed NDIC as Heritage Bank's liquidator after its license revocation. Since then, NDIC has refunded a significant portion of depositors via bank verification numbers. Abiru commended the corporation for increasing deposit insurance coverage. He also highlighted the need for legislative frameworks to address cyber attack threats. For business, Vivian Izadife.
Meanwhile, Nigeria is open for business and is committed to eliminating barriers to trade as it aligns with the African Continental Free Trade Agreement to scale up intra-Africa trade. This was the message to Moroccan investors at the opening of the first Nigeria-Morocco Business Week in Casablanca. Musa Abubakar reports.
as a joint public and private sector delegation from Nigeria, meeting their Moroccan counterparts from the Ministry of Energy Transition and Federation of Meteorological Industries, Mechanical and Electrochemical. Morocco's expertise in power and renewable energy, as well as steel and mining development, makes them strategic partner for Nigeria as both countries explore areas of investment and partnerships for inclusive growth and development.
First of all, getting your steel sector in place, you can do basically nothing as it concerns industries. So that is why we're looking at it seriously, and we're looking up to Morocco as a strategic partner. We intend to take advantage of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement.
Related to steel and metals recycling is definitely very important for us. And all the areas around shipbuilding and making sure that we're having more and more green shipbuilding.
To push our collaboration in this sector.
Yeah.
Beyond the handshake and smiles, there's some sort of optimism that business can be done between the two countries in the area of steel development, irrigation and capacity building, as Nigeria seeks to explore the opportunities in the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, as well as seeks to diversify her economy. From Morocco, I am Musa Abubakar, NTA News.
Now, if you patronize airport taxis, you might have at some point raised concerns over the high cost of transportation to the airport. Well, residents of Abuja and environs will soon be getting 30% relief from airport fares, as Lydia Sampson reports on a partnership between the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative and the Airport Taxis Association to bring down fares.
The 800 airport taxis are the next in line to benefit from free conversion of their vehicles from petrol to compressed natural gas. The Memorandum of Understanding agreement signed in Abuja signals the partnership that will, in addition to conversion, push prices down from any location in Abuja to the airport.
So Mr. President, in his magnanimity, has promised 1 million free conversions for commercial vehicles. And as she mentioned, the airport taxis are recognized as commercial vehicles. With us including you into this conversion incentive program, we are hoping, as you said, that you pass on the savings to the customers.
Spokesperson of the Airport Cabs Association appreciated the federal government's initiative and promised seamless enforcement and implementation.
We appreciate you for signing this agreement for the purpose of which the federal government was introduced this thing for. And we said now that we have alternative to petrol, our price is going to come down with 30% decrease, and passengers will enjoy our services more than before.
The converting partners committed to working with the PCNGI and the Airport Taxis Association towards a seamless process. The PCNGI says the 30% reduction of the fares will commence as soon as 50% conversion is attained. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
All right, let's go back to the National Assembly, as we're expecting the Senate any moment from now to commence the screening of the 7 ministerial nominees as presented to them by President Bola Tinubu. It was the case when last week Senator Bashir Lado, presidential advisor to the President on Senate matters, disclosed that the exercise, which was earlier scheduled to hold Tuesday, was postponed to today to enable the nominees to conclude their documentation and other pre-screening exercises. Now, joining me live now is our National Assembly correspondent, Lami Ali, to give us the update on how things are developing. Hello, Lami. Just tell us what is the situation there currently, what's the atmosphere like, and are we set to go for these screenings today?
Thank you, Dennis. Everything is set for the screening of the ministerial nominees. As you said, it was earlier scheduled for yesterday, but because the nominees, 7 ministerial nominees appointed by President Tinubu had not concluded their documentation, so it was shifted to today. Sitting commences at 11, so the presiding officers and other principal officers, as well as other members of the Senate, have started trickling into the National Assembly for that national exercise, which is in compliance with the provisions of Section 147 of the Constitution. And 7 ministerial nominees, as contained in the list, are going to be screened, and then if they eventually have the pass mark of the Senate, they will be confirmed. Already they are ministers designate, so we are going to see how the screening is going to unfold in the next 2 hours from now.
A while back, when the first set of ministers were screened, what are you envisaging this time around? Are we going to see a thorough screening, or is it going to be a case of bow and go? What are you expecting?
Well, usually it's always a thorough screening. Before the nominees come into the chamber for the screening, usually their CVs and other profiles are distributed amongst the lawmakers, and the lawmakers usually are prepared to, issue questions either on their areas of specialty, that is their career path, or on the portfolios that they have been already assigned. Like in the case of this list of ministerial nominees, they've already been assigned portfolios. So most of the questions are going to actually revolve around those areas they've been designated to man as contained in the request sent to the Senate by the President. But there are some where the Senate, in its wisdom, feels that they should just bow and go either. And usually such special treatment is extended to someone that has either served as a member of the House of Representatives or member of the Senate. Be that as it may, sometimes other questions come up. Such people are still asked questions because the Senate wants to ensure that persons that man positions of ministers of the Federal Republic of Nigeria are people that are capable, are people that are going to bring something new to the table, people that will contribute to good governance, people that will contribute to the growth and development of the country. So we are going to watch out and see how the situation is going to unfold when they are eventually admitted into chamber for the screening by the legislators.
All right, Lami, many thanks for that analysis. We certainly look forward to when the screening process begins. Thank you, Lami. Now, the ECOWAS Commission of Small Arms are meeting in Nigeria to develop a common template to combat improvised explosive devices and related threats. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that IED is a major challenge to counter terrorism in most African countries.
Related to the proliferation of small and light weapons, the use of improvised explosive devices, IED, by terrorists expanded between 2014 and 2022 in West Africa, with Cameroon, Mali, Niger, Benin, Cote d'Ivoire, and Nigeria bearing the brunt. The Small Arms Survey of 2022 indicates more than 2,200 IED-related incidents between March 2014 and September 2022, with 6,600 casualties in the sub-region. This weapon that has transcended borders tend to slow the ongoing fight against terrorism. This ECOWAS coordination meeting of National Commissions of Small Arms, holding in Nigeria, is focused on countering improvised explosive devices, promoting administration and management of small arms and light weapons, and regulating craft weapons production in ECOWAS region.
We are in danger as nations. We are in danger as citizens. We are in danger as states. So we should go beyond the usual bureaucracy and obstacle to cooperation and do our best and provide to our citizens the peaceful environment that they need.
With the signing of the Small Arms Commission Bill by President Bola Tinubu in June 2024 and the recent mass destruction of illicit arms, Nigeria is fully promoting the goals of the regional body.
The challenge of small arms proliferation and IED threats transcend our individual borders and therefore demand a robust and unified response. Nigeria, as a member of ECOWAS, is deeply committed to countering the threat posed by the illegal circulation of small arms and light weapons within and around our borders and throughout the region.
Easy access to materials used for the production of IED is a major challenge.
The problem is we cannot control the fact that the IEDs, you can take many things to have it, like fertilizer. We cannot say no fertilizer coming in our country. The bleach water is using now to do IED.
Challenges of proliferation of small and light weapons and that of improvised explosive devices transcend borders. So, resolution of this platform is for a collective action to combat the threat, to enhance safer community and a more secured region. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
All right, let's go back to the National Assembly, and the Senate has approved the reimbursement of 15.1 billion naira through promissory notes to Kebbi State government. Also approved, as requested by President Bola Tinubu, is the reimbursement of 9.5 billion naira to the Nasarawa State government. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
The approvals, as recommended by the Senate Committee on Local and Foreign Debts, are for projects undertaking. These are the construction of Sir Ahmadu Bello International Airport in Birnin Kebbi and the cargo airport in Lafia.
The Federal Bureau of Public Procurement has ascertained and certified that the due process were followed accordingly. The federal government has also been doing the same in respect of some rules constructed by various state governments. That encourages the state governments to go into some of these laudable projects, which ordinarily the federal government may not have money instantly to undertake.
Senate has passed the NDIC Act Amendment Bill, which seeks to strengthen the Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation.
The proposed amendments will enhance the NDIC's capacity to safeguard depositors, ensure the stability of the financial institutions, and promote trust in the banking system.
The Deputy President of the Senate had, while presiding as plenary, said efforts are being made to restore electricity supply to the northern parts of the country.
Electricity is taken to the northern part of the country was vandalized by terrorists. The security agencies are putting their hands together to get to that spot and try to eradicate or take away the threat.
Senator Diket Plank brought to the notice of the Senate the alleged murder in Anambra State of 5 of his constituents and urged the state government to investigate.
Doing their manual work in Anambra, but unfortunately they were rushed, killed, 2 were injured, and at the end of the day, no investigation has taken place.
Meanwhile, the Special Advisor to the President on National Assembly Matters, Senator Bashir Ladu, has in a statement said the screening of ministerial nominees has been postponed to Wednesday this week. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
We'll take another short break. Stay with us, more reports in a moment.
A false information with no verifiable source presented as true story on media platforms with the sole intention of causing injuries, chaos, and disaffection between persons, groups, or countries. Fake news facilitates extremism. Fake news creates panic and distrust. Fake news breeds hatred. Fake news kills. Don't joke with it. Don't be be in a rush. Verify your sources and facts. It is better late than fake. This message is brought to you by NTA News 24.
Minister of Power Adebayo Adelabu is, as well as heads of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, the Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission, and some distribution companies have met the Senate Committee on Power and assured a restoration of power to communities affected by the recent power outage. Answering questions from the legislators, the regulators and operators insist that investment and proper coordination in the power sector are key to overcoming current challenges.
Where it should be. What is your role between you and this group? That's what we want to know, so that we can pin them down.
Under World Bank project, under African Development Project, under even Islamic development, we borrowed huge sums of money and sunk it into the power sector. And you are talking about aging infrastructure.
We here on this side, we want to find a solution to this incessant and recurring system collapse. It doesn't happen in most countries. Even smaller countries that will go, our neighbors, they don't have system collapse. So what do we do?
The northern blackout was not due to technical grid collapse. It was vandalization. And we have explored alternative routes of supplying power, which is the Bauchi route, which was also vandalized anyway, but that one is easier to fix. And we are saying within the next 2 to 3 days, there will be light restored to the north.
I know what we used to get in the budget. So the power system need a lot of money to do so many things. We have to build more transmission line so that if there is a problem with one line, we can switch to the other.
What is happening today is that when you have a fault, instead of localizing the fault within the area where it occurred, it tends to propagate a wider scale. And what TCN needs to do is to go nationwide and make sure that all their protection systems are properly coordinated so that faults are localized.
In other news, the Sultanate Council Sokoto says the news going around that Sultan of Sokoto, Mohammed Saad Abubakar, is dead at a hospital abroad is fake and should be disregarded. This is contained in a statement signed by the Public Relations Officer, Sultanate Council Sokoto Aminu Haliru. It describes the news as unfounded and masterminds behind some unscrupulous persons who want to instill fear and cause unnecessary tension in the country. The Sultan has not travelled abroad, as insinuated by the bearers of the fake news, adding that he is in the country and currently attending official functions in Kaduna State. The Sultanate Council urges Nigerians to disregard such fake news in its entirety. The Minister of Police Affairs, Ibrahim Gidam, has reminded security agencies that by exchanging insights and expertise, law enforcement agencies can collectively analyze emerging risks, identify systemic vulnerabilities, and formulate comprehensive strategies to mitigate the potential threats. This was at a 3-day workshop on West African Information System in Abuja.
There is no doubt that threats of organized crime, terrorism, human trafficking, cybercrime demand a unified approach. This, the Minister of Police Affairs enjoins stakeholders to put up their thinking caps and articulate strategies that will promote collaboration among law enforcement agencies with a view to creating synergy that will guarantee the security of Nigeria and the West African sub-region.
With rising security challenges and stress in the country, there is no better time than now to build on strengthening interagency collaboration through sharing of vital intelligence, and classified information on to curb the menace.
Stakeholders at the workshop agreed that the collaborative effort is a crucial step towards strengthening the West African region's capacity to address transnational security challenges.
The teamwork makes the dream work. No one organization will be able to solve this problem by themselves. So it is ideal that all security agencies here today are collaborating.
In the criminal justice sector, we acknowledge that the safety and security of our communities rely heavily on the effective and timely exchange of critical information.
By supporting the rapid exchange of information, we can identify suspicious activities, trace illicit financial flows, and ensure that perpetrators are held accountable.
The issue of information sharing is a sine qua non in trying to protect lives and property.
With the team, interagency collaboration on information sharing among law enforcement agencies in Nigeria. The 3-day workshop focuses on achieving one of the deliverables vested on the Ministry of Police Affairs by President Bola Tinubu on tackling security challenges being faced in the country. Francis from NTA News.
Heads of agencies under the Ministry of Interior have signed a performance contract pledging to elevate their services. For them, it's a pact they can't afford to break. And for the minister, it's a tool to ensure accountability from the top down. Victor Azu was there.
With each signature, the commitment grows stronger. For the Ministry of Interior, today isn't just about documents and ink. It's a pledge to deliver.
So we are trusting our heads of agencies to go back to be able to implement these deliverables and ensure that in the next 1 year, you understand, the Ministry of Interior will be able to be right up their way or to be in terms of performance.
Each agency head knows what this means. Enhanced performance, higher standards, and no room for failure.
It's a job we've been given and we must do it. There's no room for failure. The President has said it, that this is what he expects of the minister, and the minister has just stepped it down to us, and we'll go back to our various agencies and do the same, step it down to our other officers as well.
The retreat is for us to ensure that we deliver as at when due, and we promise to deliver. By this, we now take it down to our agencies and make sure that whatever we are doing, we do it in line with the ministry and our minister as well.
And with this agreement in place, the Ministry of Interior enters a new chapter. As each leader stands behind their promise, the people will be watching to see results unfold. In Abuja, Victor Azu, NTA News.
Elsewhere, financial intelligence units across Africa are in Abuja for a workshop to rub minds on how to deal with transactions that are deemed to be suspicious while building capacities to disrupt illicit financial flows connected to serious crimes across the continent. Chief Executive Officer, Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit, Hafsat Bakari, says reducing the ability of fraudsters and other criminals to use their illicit proceeds reduces the incentives to engage in the crimes. Tokme Alabi reports. Okay, that report will come to you in our subsequent bulletins. You're watching the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Here is a look at our major stories. 7 new ministerial nominees fate in Senate hands as Red Chamber sets to commence screening exercise. President Tinubu expresses commitment towards full implementation of Naira for crude policy.
When NNPC refineries work going forward, then Nigeria will be actually one of the biggest exporter of petroleum products in history.
And Sultanate Council debunks media speculations on status of Sultan of Sokoto, says he is alive and healthy.
These
In a bid to strengthen public-private partnerships and concessioning in its transactions in various sectors of the economy, the Bureau of Public Enterprises is advocating transparency, professionalism, and accountability in service for national development. This was at the Bureau's symposium on impact of attitudinal behavioral ethics in the workplace. Boss Sede Abel Amosu was at the event and now reports.
Is to have employees behave in a manner consistent with the company's mission and goals. This plays a pivotal role in shaping organizational culture and fostering trust among stakeholders to create a positive and productive work environment for growth and development. This is the reason these industry players here are expressing increasing frustration with the quality of customer service provided by firms in various sectors in Nigeria, especially in government ministries, agencies, and private companies. The discussants are of the view that customers in Nigeria have been enduring poor service and slow dispute resolution over the years.
We will reflect on the various ways to foster and navigate the right ethics that can reshape our work culture, ensuring that we derive value from our efforts and expertise.
Ethical behavior is also and often influenced by organizational policies.
Let's first of all deal with the societal rot, the corrupt tendencies in us as a people. Is the most important thing.
The Bureau says to meet and exceed expectations that aligns with the present administration's renewed hope agenda, its achievements must go above and beyond the level of service. In Abuja, Bosede Eibu Lamosu, NTA News.
Following recent trends in the field of jurisprudence necessitating the importance of cooperation and collaboration among judicial divisions around the world, the International Association of Judges is furthering consultations to broaden their membership base. A delegation from the body is in Nigeria to study and appraise the progress made in justice delivery by the Nigerian judiciary.
Its key objective is to safeguard the independence of the judiciary worldwide. So all of its members, to become a member of the IAJ, you must be judicially independent. You must be able to safeguard the independence of the judiciary.
Nigeria is seeking to join the International Association of Judges for the nation to benefit from the cooperation. The Climate and Sustainable Development Network has launched a Keep Your Promise advocacy campaign in flood-affected areas of Kogi State. The campaign calls on world leaders to take climate action ahead of COP29, focusing on efforts to support communities impacted by climate change. Odronugwa Ataz reports is now here.
What do we want? Climate justice. When do we want it? Now.
The Climate and Sustainable Development Network is a coalition of over 300 organizations working to promote equitable and sustainable development across Nigeria. The campaign is an initiative aimed at raising awareness and urging accountability for global climate commitments, particularly as COP29 approaches. CS DevNet's National Network Coordinator, Stephen Abu, said the Keep Your Promise campaign was launched to address the urgent need for climate justice by holding global leaders accountable for their climate pledges. He noted that Africa contributes the least to global emissions but bears a disproportionate impact from climate-related challenges.
Every year, what people in this community hear is a feedback from negotiation and the promises of hundreds of billions of dollars. Yet they cannot trace a dime as the impact of this action in their communities.
Some flood victims in the Ganaja community are calling for urgent assistance as living conditions have become increasingly challenging.
I'm selling blocks. I have block industry, this place. Yeah, so every year what I used to pack us here, and it will just pack us with nothing. We will not see anything, any help. For more than 1 month now, I'm at home, waiting for the water to go back so that I can come back.
I think some of my neighbors are inside because of the water. They couldn't come out because it's not easy for everyone to be entering the water all the time.
Kogi State's Commissioner for Environmental and Ecological Management, Joseph Oluwasegun, highlighted state government efforts to address the flooding and called for a lasting solution to this persistent problem.
And you agree with me that Kogi State in particular, we have a lot of climate problems, and most importantly the issue of flooding. Kogi State is a flood-prone state that require a lot of funding.
The event provides a platform for vulnerable communities to voice their concerns and advocate for the fulfillment of climate finance promises.
Let's now get some developments on the foreign scene.
There has been widespread condemnation of Israel's decision to ban UN relief agency, UNRWA, from operating in Israel and the Palestinian territories. Israel claims it has evidence that a few of the agency's thousands of staffers are affiliated with Hamas and other armed groups. Its ambassador to the United Nations, Danny Danon, said Israel will continue to work with the United Nations organ that are focused on humanitarian assistance to the Palestinians, but not in terrorism. Israel's parliament voted 92-10 late to ban UNRWA from conducting any activity or providing any service inside Israel, including the areas of annexed East Jerusalem, Gaza, and the West Bank. The vote also saw lawmakers declare the UN Relief Agency a territory group, which effectively bans it from any direct interaction with the Israeli state. The decision was in deference to pressure from the United States and other countries to maintain the agency, which is the largest provider of humanitarian assistance to Palestinians. It provides nearly the entire population of Gaza with basic supplies and needs access through Israel to do this.
Now, financial intelligence units across Africa are in Abuja for a workshop to rub minds on how to deal with transactions that are deemed to be suspicious while building capacities to disrupt illicit financial flows connected to serious crimes across the continent. Chief Executive Officer, Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit, Hafsat Bakari, says reducing the ability of fraudsters and other criminals to use their illicit proceeds reduces the incentives to engage in the crimes. Let's now get this report from Tokwe Alabi.
The amount laundered annually is estimated between 2 and 5% of global GDP, which is about 715 billion and 1.87 trillion euros. Similar to money laundering, there are generally 3 stages in terrorism financing: raising, moving, and using funds. This workshop is considering the ethical and moral limitations to the use of stop orders and for financial intelligence units across Africa to be wary of the risk that legitimate transactions, funds, and assets may subject the powers to.
Without effective controls, these powers could be subject to abuses, as we have seen in so many instances. This is where at the NFIU we have established clear protocols and procedures for the use of stop orders. There must be a clearly demonstrated high level of risk that the funds are likely to be dissipated. We are grateful for Nigeria for doing that. It's still a lot of work to do, so we are sharing also best practices today to inform the FUs in the room how they can improve their system.
Because of the way technology has changed the financial industry, these funds move very quickly from different accounts, even to different jurisdictions. So these suspension powers are really about enabling FIUs to identify those suspicious transactions and to stop the transactions from moving from bank to bank.
From different countries, we will see how maybe Nigeria or Ethiopia or Senegal deal with the matter, and how can we put all our effort together.
Conversations at this forum seek to position and promote FIUs within their national and international systems while introducing new and innovative tools for FIU operations and development. In Abuja, Tokwe Alabi, NTA News.
Sports is next.